Hello friends, Mandar here. I'm back with another video. Today I will talk about the Alien Registration Act. Now there have been dozens of questions in the last 2 or 3 days that I got on text messages, emails and whatnot regarding who should register, especially people on green card, people on visa, people who have recently come to the United States on a visa or who have been here for a long time on one or the other visa. Essentially all non-citizens. So I think this is a timely topic everybody wants to know because there is a deadline to register. So important topics, who should register for alien registration? Watch this video until the end and let's get started. If you are here for the first time, welcome. My name is Mandar and I make immigration and lifestyle related videos for US and Canada. I'm not an immigration lawyer, so anything that I say on this video or on my channel is for information purpose only. And for your specific immigration needs, before you take any action, you should hire a competent immigration lawyer. Now this regulation is not new. It was never new. It's been there for a long time, decades actually. It was just not enforced. And what this new administration is doing is enforcing it. So as soon as they came into the power, there was an executive order on 20th of January on the first day of the new administration, which was part of the protecting American citizens against invasion. So as part of that, what they said was anybody who is not a US citizen, if you are in the country for more than 30 days, you will need to register with the USCIS or Department of Homeland Security. So that is what this law says. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to read the actual text. Then I'm going to go through 7 different examples or unique scenarios that have come to my attention in the last couple of days and will clarify it for them. Now, first of all, this is what it says. Alien registration requirement. On January 20th, President Trump issued an executive order protecting the American people against invasion, which directed the Homeland Security to ensure that aliens comply with their duty to register with the government under Section 262 of the Immigration and Nationality Act. Now, this is not new. This has been in place for decades, at least 25 years. And ensure that failure to comply with the registration requirement is treated as civil and criminal enforcement priority. So basically, if you don't comply with this, they can hold you criminally responsible and that can also impact your immigration situation. So what does it say? The INA requires that with limited exceptions, all aliens 14 years of age or older who were not registered and fingerprinted if required when applying for the US visa and who remain in the United States for 30 days or longer must register for fingerprinting. Similarly, parents and legal guardians of aliens below the age of 14 must also ensure that they are registered within 30 days. Within 30 days of reaching his or her 14th birthday, all previously registered aliens must apply for re-registration to be fingerprinted. This is also underlined. Once an alien has registered, DHS will issue an evidence of registration which alien over the age of 18 must carry and keep in their personal possession at all times. So even if you are registered after 14, you don't have to carry it until you are 18. So if you are 18 years or older, you should carry that proof of registration with you at all times if you are a non-citizen. This is really a big obligation. It is legal obligation of all unregistered aliens who are in the United States to comply with these requirements. Failure to comply will result in criminal or civil penalties, including misdemeanor prosecution, imposed fines and incarceration. Now, how do you register? It's Form G325R biometric registration form, which is an online process. Now, what I will do is I will go through a couple of things. Okay. Now, who needs to register? Let's find out. Anybody who is 14 years of age or older and is not a US citizen, who is not fingerprinted, needs to be registered. Now, under abundance of caution, what I would say is if you are not a US citizen, which means if you are a green card holder, if you have a visa, if you have student visa, if you are an H1, L1, any visa, if you remember that you have been fingerprinted when you obtained your visa, then you do not need to register. If you have your I-94 updated at your latest entry into the United States, that you don't need to register. But if you got your green card or if you got your visa without going through biometric, which I doubt how it can happen, but I have seen cases where it can happen for minors, then you need to go and proactively register with this form online. Now the underlying premise of this is to catch undocumented immigrants. That's forgiven. But the language is very broad. They say all non-citizens, non-US citizens, which includes basically everyone who is not a US citizen. So you should take note of this. Now let's take a couple of examples. Okay, your child is of the age of 14 years or older, who or maybe recently turned 14, but they came with you. The children came with you before they were 14. They got through the visa. You have your H1, your children had H4, but they did not necessarily had to fingerprint. But now they are in the United States. Now they turned 14. Now it's your obligation to make sure that you file and open an account, online USCIS account on their behalf. 14 years old, they have to have their own account and register for fingerprinting, register for biometrics. After doing so, after the biometrics is done, USCIS or DHS will issue you a confirmation of registration, and make sure you carry that for yourself and for your kids if you are on a visa. Now, if you are sure that you were fingerprinted, you had your biometrics done at the time of visa interview or before getting a visa, then you don't need to do this. If your I-94 was updated, that itself is a registration. So you don't need to do that. Now, the second scenario, what if you entered the United States along with your kids on a green card, but typically minors under the age of 14 are not fingerprinted. So even if you have green card for your children and now they turned 14 years of age within the United States, if they did not go through the fingerprinting and biometrics, you should register them even if they have a green card. That's the way I understand it. Anybody who is a non-citizen who did not go through fingerprinting or biometrics should register. Now let's take another example. So let's say you came to this country several decades back, say several years back. So you came as a student visa in 2005, 2007, then you changed to H1, then you changed to L1, and so on. You made it through multiple different visas. In that case, you may not have provided your biometrics for a very long time. So in that case, I encourage you to register. Now, another situation, if you are a Canadian citizen and if you have been traveling to the United States for a while, usually Canadians had a special privilege to be in United States for 6 months at a time without having to register, but no longer is the case. If you are planning to visit, as a Canadian citizen, if you are planning to visit United States, if you are going to live in the United States for more than 30 days, you need to register. Now, they also say that even if your children are less than 14 years of age, you can still apply for the registration on their behalf. So please note that if you have been in the United States for a long time, if your children have never been through registration process, you still need to register on their behalf. So open an account on their behalf as a guardian or as a parent and register them. So basically everybody has to register unless they have been through fingerprinting or biometrics. Another very inconvenient thing is, and you will need to comply with this, is that you carry that proof of registration for you and your family at all times when you are out of the home. Another important thing is this registration or proof of registration is not a visa. It's not an immigrant status. Please make a note of that. It is just providing USCIS with your information. That's all it is. It does not grant you permission to live in the United States. So if your visa is expired, if you have been in between jobs, and if you do not have an underlying non-immigrant visa, make sure you still get that, because this mere registration is not going to help you to establish that status. Now, all of this I say as per my understanding. Don't take my word for it. I have talked to many people. That's the reason I know about this information. But in your situation, if you still have doubts, or regardless, you should talk to your own lawyer, see what they have to say about your particular situation, whether you need to register or not. But with the given guidelines that I mentioned in this video so far, I hope this helps. If I have missed any kind of scenario, put down in the comment section below and I will probably cover it in my next video, or I will try to reply. I'm getting inundated with the text messages and calls on this particular issue, so I thought I would make an urgent video on this. Hopefully that helps. Now, this is not a legal advice. Again, make sure your situation, either you talk to your lawyer, or if you want to get my opinion, set up a call with me on Calendly and I will try to assess your situation as well. What I would do if I were in your shoes. That's all I had in this video. If you like the content of this video, hit the like button and consider subscribing to my channel, and I'll see you in the next one.
And that brings me to the sponsor of today's video. Have you ever done the Google search of your own name? Look what I have found when I did mine. Here's what comes up. While some of this information is relevant, the other makes me uncomfortable that my information is exposed for a sale like this. Data brokers sell your information to scammers, spammers, or anybody else who may want to target you. Your full name, email address, home address, your relatives' names, health information, it's all out there. That's why I have been using Aura, sponsor of today's video. Aura shows me which data brokers are selling my information and automatically submits opt-out request for me. Cleaning up my information not only helps reduce the amount of spam I get, but it also protects me from hackers who could use this information to help them access my social media accounts, bank accounts, or other sensitive information. Aura does so much more to protect my information and my family's information from online threats I can't see. I get other features like antivirus, VPN, password management, parental controls, identity theft insurance, and more without having to download several different apps. It's really easy to set up, and best of all, I get everything for one affordable price. You may already have one or two of these tools, but not having Aura is like locking the front door but leaving your back door wide open. Aura is always on, doing the hard work of keeping me safe so I can focus on other tasks with peace of mind. I value my privacy and I value yours. You can go to my link which is on the screen and in the description and start your free 2 weeks trial. So protect your information, your family, and have a peace of mind. That's Aura.